Hi! It's another great day, grade 7 learners. Welcome to English 7 Made Easy, where learning is fun and exciting. I am Teacher Sheila, your English teacher for today. How are you doing these days? I hope you're well and still eager to learn. Please join me for a new and challenging experience. But before we begin, please be reminded of the few things you need to do. First, find your most relaxing place. And second, grab your pens and your self-learning modules. So, let's get started. After watching this video, you are expected to first, identify the types of phrases, clauses, and sentences. Second, recognize the structure of phrases, clauses, and sentences. Third, use phrases, clauses, and sentences appropriately. This time, you are going to watch and listen this short dialogue about safety begins at home. Safety begins at home. Anna is working as a frontliner and she arrives at home from work. And she usually sanitizes before going inside the house.
Mom, I'm home, but I can't find the alcohol and soap here. Tim, where is our anti-COVID kit? Have you seen it?
The table.
In the table?
Under the table.
Why is it under the table?
It must have fallen under the table after she used it this morning. Remember?
Oh yes, I remember. Here it is, Mom. Alright then, you should sanitize yourself, including your bag. Of course, Mom, I am going to clean everything. After all, our safety begins at home.
During this global crisis, we learn to be responsible not just for our own safety, but also for others and our family. In the dialogue that you have just watched, they were looking for the alcohol, which becomes part of their daily sanitation. However, when Mom asked where was it, how did Tim respond? Was his first answer, the table, clear? It isn't. Her mom was confused. However, he was able to make it clearer when he gave a complete detail towards the end of the dialogue. Do you think it is important that we always answer in a complete sentence? Yes, it is. It makes our ideas easily understood. So, in order to make a sentence, let us learn about the group of words that make up a sentence. What do you notice among the groups of words emphasized from the dialogue? The table, under the table, and it must have fallen under the table. Quite tricky, right? But certainly, they have different structures and different functions, and each of them is used to build up ideas. So, what do we call these groups of words? In English language, the groups of words are classified into phrases, clauses, and sentences. These are fundamental units of language. They provide structure and meaning, which are important in the effectiveness on the use of English language. If we are able to know them, then we can easily spot them in a given reading selection. Now, let us go back to our previous examples. The table. In the table. Am going. are examples of phrases. A phrase is a group of words that acts as a part of speech but cannot stand alone as a sentence. It functions as a single unit of idea and does not have a subject and a verb. There are different types of phrases that you need to learn. They are prepositional phrase, noun phrase, and verb phrase. Notice these examples. In the table, under the table, inside the house. Do you see something in common? What part of speech introduces the phrase? The underlined words are called prepositions. It is easy to detect a prepositional phrase because this group of words begins with a preposition and followed by a noun or a pronoun. Prepositions are a group of words used to show direction, time, place, location, spatial relationships, or to introduce objects. Here are more examples of prepositions. Now that you already know about prepositional phrases, let us check another set of words. The table. Our untitled kit. What kind of phrases are these? These are examples of noun phrases. A noun phrase is composed of a noun or a pronoun and its modifiers. The phrase can act as a complete subject in the sentence. Try to look at these groups of words from the dialogue. Is working. Am going. What part of speech are they? Yes, they are verbs. So, what is a verb? A verb shows an action. These are examples of verb phrases. It is very easy to identify a verb phrase because it contains a helping verb and a main verb. You are now learning about the different types of phrases. Now, let us identify what type of phrases are the following groups of words. I want you to say out loud your answers, whether they are prepositional phrase, noun phrase, or verb phrase. Number 1. Beyond the gate. Is your answer a prepositional phrase? Wow! Terrific! I know you noticed that the phrase is introduced by the preposition beyond. Number 2. A playful child. What do you have in mind? You think this is a noun phrase? Exactly! It is composed of a noun child and its modifier, playful. Number 3. Was laughing. What kind of phrase is this? Did you say verb phrase? Perfect! This is an example of a verb phrase because it contains a main verb and a helping verb. These two verbs are connected with each other. You are now familiar with the different types of phrases. Now, let's learn about clauses. It must have fallen under the table. After she used it this morning. You think the ideas expressed are complete? Or is there something missing? These groups of words are examples of clauses. A clause is a group of words that has a subject, a predicate, or both, which may or may not stand on their own. Let us study deeper these two examples. There are two types of clauses, which are independent and dependent clause. This is the main clause or independent clause. It includes the subject, it, and the predicate must have fallen under the table. Why is it called independent clause? Well, simply because they express a complete idea and can stand alone to make a simple sentence. How about this one? This is what we call subordinate or dependent clause. It may contain either a subject or a predicate or both. However, its meaning is dependent to the main clause or independent clause. Always remember that a dependent clause is always introduced by a subordinating conjunctions such as after, before, because, and many others. So, why is it important that we know the different types of phrases and clauses? You guessed it right! They are the keys in expressing our thoughts, and we use them to construct meaningful sentences. Now, let's try this activity. Identify which one is an independent clause and a dependent clause. Number 1. Before I eat my meal. What's your answer? Correct! The answer is dependent clause. Number 2. I usually wash my hands. What's your answer? Awesome! You got the correct answer. This is an independent clause.
Therefore, I usually wash my hands is the independent clause, and before I eat my meal is the dependent clause. These two different clauses, when combined, can form a sentence. So, the complete sentence is, I usually wash my hands before I eat my meal.
Astonishing job, everyone! Look how far you've gone! You now know the different types of phrases and clauses. Now it's time to move one step higher in your English prowess. This time, let's explore the parts and types of sentences. What is a sentence? How do we know if it is a sentence? Well, easy.
A sentence contains a subject, which can be a noun or a pronoun, and a predicate, which is the verb or the verb phrase that expresses a complete thought. For example, I am going to clean the house. Can you find the subject? Remember that the subject is the ones we are talking about in the sentence. The subject is I. How about the predicate? Always bear in mind that the predicate is always the verb and the words that come after it. Awesome! You got it! I'm going to clean the house is the predicate in the sentence. However, there are some words that are considered a sentence even without a subject, such as stand up or listen. These sentences give commands or requests. The subject is always in the second person and is always the word you. It is not written or spoken in these sentences, but it is understood that the subject is the person whom you're talking with. Depending upon its delivery, these sentences may end with a period or an exclamation point.
If these two are present, then you should ask yourself, is this expressing a complete idea? If yes, well, you definitely have a complete sentence. You should always remember that a sentence starts with a capital letter and ends with a period, exclamation point, or a question mark. Are you familiar with simple sentence, compound sentence, and complex sentence? I'm sure you have heard of them. They are the types of sentences according to structure. Let us go through them one by one. I am home. This is an example of a simple sentence, which has a subject and a verb that expresses a complete thought. A main or independent clause is also considered a simple sentence. How about a compound sentence? Compound sentence is made up of two or more independent clauses. It uses the coordinating conjunctions for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so, also known as fun boys. Try to look at this example. Anna loves swimming, and Peter likes reading. Lastly, we have a complex sentence. Complex sentence is composed of one independent clause and one or more dependent clause or subordinate clause. It uses the different subordinating conjunctions like after, although, even though, except, until, unless, when, whenever, wherever, while, and many more to connect the clauses. Can you now identify the types of sentences according to structure? I want you to tell what type of sentences are the following. Grab a pen and take note of your answers. Are you ready? Number 1. You should always wear your face mask. What kind of sentence is this? Exactly! This is a simple sentence because it has only one main clause. Number 2. I help stop the spread of the virus when I stay home. How about this sentence? Yes, it is a complex sentence because it is composed of a main clause and a subordinate clause. Number 3. You should avoid touching your face and you have to wash your hands always. What is your answer? Awesome! It is a compound sentence since it is made up of two independent clauses. Wow! That was quite a lot, right? Now, let us try to complete the dialogue. Choose from the given words below and fill in the blanks with your answers. Please feel free to pause this video so you can write your answers in a piece of paper. Are you up for the challenge? You can do it!
Hello, Marie. It's been a while that we didn't see each other. Where did you stay during the ECQ? How have you been?
I stayed together. It moment for me.
Were you able to write your answers? Perfect! Your answer should look like this. I stayed at home together with my family. It was a challenging moment for me since I am used to going out. That's amazing! Your answers are all correct. Job well done, dear learners. With your knowledge of the different types of phrases, clauses, and sentences, and their structures, you now have the basic understanding in order to communicate your ideas. This time, you're now ready to answer your self-learning modules. If you have any questions or clarifications, please feel free to watch again this video, or you may contact your English teacher. Do not forget to stay tuned for the next session. Thank you for watching English 7 Made Easy. Again, this is Teacher Sheila, your English 7 teacher for today, saying, learning English is fun and exciting. This is DepEd Teleradio. Thank you everyone. See you next time.